Hello, creatives. Welcome to a Kid Called Beastmaker session. In this session, we have Void, and today we're diving into must-have add-ons. Here's an example of what we are making today. Let's get started.
Let's go, guys. Today we will be talking about Blender add-ons. I'm going to show my Blender screen first, and I will pop up the magic window to the wonderful world of add-ons, which you guys should already know by now, because Beastify is in there in everyone's Blender scene, I assume, and if not, go check it out. It's a cool little trick that gets you your new beast inside of Blender. But we've already been through Beastify, so we're not going to do this today. We're going to check out some other add-ons, and as you can see, I have a whole lot of add-ons, and they really make your life easier. So I want to start by showing you guys the first place I go to when I'm looking for a new add-on, or if I want to do something that I don't really know how to, and maybe there's an add-on in existence for it. These sites, I will post it in the Discord. Okay, I will post it on another way in the Discord. Okay, I will post it on another way again. Let's go. Okay, I will post it like this. This should work. There we go. Okay, so blendermarket.com is your go-to site if you're looking for something fresh, something clean, something that will make your life easier, but also will make your renders 10 times better than before by simple clicks. So Blender Market is, as you can see, an indie marketplace for Blender creation, for Blender creators. So I'm not saying everything you will find on this site will be of super high quality, because it's an indie website, so anyone can, if you were learning Blender your first day and you by accident created an add-on, you can upload it here, but that doesn't mean it will be a good add-on or it will be a useful one. So we're going to look through what they have today, and we'll see what add-ons are useful and what add-ons aren't useful. There's a whole lot of things, we won't be able to go over all of them, but we will have a look at the most popular items this week, because in here there are always a few gems you can find. As you can see, it's not only add-ons you can find on Blender Market, it's also models. You have some brushes you can use, you have some textures, you have some videos, some trainings, you have some some render setups, which means this could be a lightning setup, this could be an environment. You have a whole lot of tools on this website. Some are free, some are paying, as you can see, but once you go through it, you will be in love with using these add-ons and integrating them into your workflow. As you can see, AutoRig Pro is a very nice one. I've seen some beasts use this one already. However, we don't need it anymore because our beasts are already rigged fully and very well. As you can see here, for example, we have the Geoscatter add-on. You might remember it from the tutorial reel on my Instagram, which is a super cool one-click grass plane maker. So I will show you right now what I mean by this, and while we go through the add-ons, we'll start making a little scene, so we have two in one. So Geoscatter, it is $100, it costs something. On the other hand, it's a super useful tool that I use almost every day. Let's check it out in Blender itself. So I'm going to start deleting what we have inside of it, and we just start from a fresh leaf. So Geoscatter, as you can see, a lot is happening right now. So how do we use Geoscatter? Very easily. I'm going to add a plane, just a simple plane, and now I can choose an emitter for the Geoscatter. I will choose a plane, and now things start changing. So what does it mean? It means on this plane there will be some grass growing, there will be some forest ground that's on this in just one simple click. So how do we do it? Very easy. I usually go to biome scatter. You have a whole lot of things you can do here, but for now we're just going to use the biomes, because what are biomes? It means if you have a forest in, let's say, France, you're gonna have pine trees, you're gonna have grass, but it won't be the same biome as you would have in the Amazon, for example, in Brazil. So there you will have more tropical flowers, you have more tropical trees. So this is a biome. And as you can see, you have a few options you can choose from. So you got a nice lawn from the yard. You got an autumn lawn, which means everything's more dried up, there's more mud into it. We also have some dry land, which is perfect for, let's say, a scenery where you are in the wilderness, in America, for example. We have some forest, and we have some rock plains, we have some wild grass, we have a whole lot of options we can choose from, and it's just up to you what you want to use for your scene. So today I'm just going to pick, let's say, dryland 03, and the only thing I gotta do is click dryland, and it's going to import it onto my plane that I selected. So as you can see, we have a perfectly usable and very realistic grass or biome setup on the plane we just made. I'm just going to show you guys in render view because it will be a little nicer. I'm just going to add a little light so we see something, because it's very dark this time of the day. There we go. As you can see, we have tall grass, we have short grass, we have rocks, and we still have our plane. So how do we deal with our plane? Well, very easily. I'm just going to give it a color. I just selected my plane, went to materials, pressed new base color, and I'm going to give it a brownish color because we are in a dry land, and dry land usually has a brown ground surface. So there we go. This looks better already. I'm just going to put on cycles. I'm not a big fan of Eevee. And there we go. We have a beautiful plane that works in one click, and it's an amazing plugin, guys. I mean, if you're going to spend something for this Christmas and you want to do something for yourself, this is the way to go. Why? Because it's not only, because now we just added like some texture, some materials to the plane, which is super nice. But you also have the ability to, for example, right in here we see TV. It's short for tweak. It's not TV, it's tweak. And here we have all the components that are on our plane. So as I will show you guys, we can deselect them all so we don't see them. This is our regular plane. These are the rocks. This is some medium tall grass. This is another kind of medium tall grass. This is another kind of medium tall grass. And this is our really tall grass. So the real cool thing about this is we have a whole kind of options we can do just for our tall grass. For example, and what I use mostly is wind. We can just make it blow in the wind by, you saw it, I think 3 clicks, and now our setup is perfectly generating a realistic, natural looking wind vibe over our plane that we just selected. You can choose to change the strength. For example, I think it's blowing a little too hard. Let's say 0.5 for the speed and 0.5 for the strength. So as you guys can see, it's moving a lot less than before, and I think it's more realistic. Let's go with 0.2 even, and let's go with 0.2 here as well. So as you can see, there's a little bit of movement going on, but it's these little things that really will take home your renders, and that really will make your animations pop. And it's really easy. So geoscatter, if you want it, just go grab it and make amazing sceneries with it. So as you saw, we got some biomes. However, if you want more biomes and you want more trees and you want more flowers, Botanic is a really good material pack that works with Geoscatter. So as you can see, it's all these trees, you have ferns, you can do lots of things. You have a ton of flowers. I think if you take the full, I don't know exactly how many, I think it will be in here, the full, you've got 723 assets, and you've got scatters 75, which are the biomes that we just used, kind of. So you have a whole lot of different assets to choose from. If you want to dig deeper in the Geoscatter, I suggest just getting it first, learning a bit, and then if you need more, go grab yourself the Botanic pack and you will create amazing scenes. Okay, secondly, I'm just going to go through the ones that I think are interesting first, and then we can see if you guys want to see something else. But the Atmosphere is a pretty decent plugin. So Atmosphere, what does it do? As you can see, you can create a single atmosphere, like it has sky, it has lightning, it has everything you need. So we're going to watch it in action right now. So I'm going to close the Geoscatter and I'm going to go to the Atmosphere. So as you can see, there's nothing happening in the scene in the back here. We just have my light here, and I'm just going to make sure we don't see anything anymore. So our scene is pretty dark. So you want to add a world around our plane. So I'm going to add an atmosphere. And as you can see, there is some lightning that's happening in here, but we still gotta select first, for example, the Earth preset. The Earth preset is not working because I put our world strength to 0 5 minutes ago, so I'm again going to put it to 1 so we see what we are actually doing. So as you can see, we have sunlight reflecting on our grass, we have a beautiful skyline which we can change through the different presets, Earth 2, Earth 3, which are pretty realistic ones. We have a hazy summer, for example, which is more of a dark, moody vibe. We have Mars, which is a sci-fi more vibe. We have Nishita. If you're going to recreate Dune, this is what you need. We have a retrowave one, which is pretty cool as well. We have Tatooine, and we have a thick fog and a thick haze. But as you can see, for example, I'm going to use Earth 1. There's not super much lighting here. So what do I usually do when working with this plugin? I select the sun, because the sun is where our light is coming from. And then I go to rotation, and the vertical rotation, I change it to, let's say, -60, which means our sun will be way up higher in the sky. Let's find it. It's there. So our sun is giving way more light. So if we change it to, for example, -50, it will be even more. If we change it back to -70, it will be less light. So as you can see, not only does our lightning change, but our sky setup changes as well. So this is a really simple plugin to, you can work with HDRs, which work fine for lightning, but with the Atmosphere add-on, I got a feeling the backgrounds are way more natural and way more easier to use as well. Plus, you can shape it the way you want, which you can do with HDRs. For example, if you want clouds and you want like some other shapes of clouds, you can just change the seed, which will change around it. You can change the scale of the clouds, so you can really adapt your atmosphere to what you're looking for, to the vibes you are going for. For example, we can do the same with a hazy summer. Like I say, it's very dark in the beginning, so I'm going to change it to -60, which is better, but it's a little too light, so I'm going to change 75, which is a nice moody light, which you can see. We have the beautiful grass and we have a beautiful sky as a backdrop, which actually looks realistic and pretty good. So Atmosphere add-on is one I use a lot of the time lately. It's a very nice one to just create a nice backdrop, create some lightning in your scene, which looks realistic, feels realistic, and doesn't need a ton of setup work. So we had Botanic, we had Geoscatter, we had Atmosphere. I'm going to scroll a bit further because there are a lot of things we can choose from, but I'm going to look for the ones I use mostly nowadays. So I'm going to go a bit further. The Easy Fog one is a great tool. If you watched the Instagram, you will have seen the Easy Fog tool as well, but we're going to go to Easy Fog 2 because it's the upgraded version of it, which is an insane plugin, guys. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys the Easy Fog 2. Let's say we have our scene and everything is looking great and everything works, but we want to add like a little ground fog. We want to add, for example, a God ray. Your God ray won't be a God ray unless there is something that's reflecting the light, which is fog in this example. So the easiest way to get it done, normally you should go to geometry nodes, or you have to create a texture that's a volume scatter, but this is literally one click. So Alt tab Easy Fog 2, and we just click on the type of fog we want. So there are a lot of things you can do. You see here a wisp, you see a fog plane if you want a wall, you have even tornadoes, a smoky puff, you have fake God rays even, so one click and they will work. But for now I'm going to just use a ground fog, and the only thing I gotta do is fog it up. And that's fog, F-O-G, and not another fog it up. As you can see, our fog was automatically put into our scene. The only thing we gotta do now is align it with our plane. And as you can see, I'm just going to put it a little smaller, which is S that I use if I want to scale something. I'm just going to put it on the ground, and as you guys can see, we have an automatic fog inside of our grass, which gives it a darker, eerier vibe, and it was literally one click. So you have a ton of options: God ray fog, God ray noise, smoke walls even. Some of them are animated, so if you see the play button here, it's going to move, so you don't have to worry about anything. You can just do crazy stuff with this. For example, this magic doorway is a pretty cool asset to use. Let's just tone it down a little bit again. Magic doorway, and as you can see, we have a little misty doorway that is shining for us. So if you want your fog to be more visible, there are a few options here, so you can make sure the density is higher. As you can see, it's very sensitive to density, to being able to see it. Or we can just add a light, for example, which will show the outlines of our fog way better. So using fog in Blender usually comes with playing with lightning as well, and it kind of comes with the territory. If you want to learn fog and God rays, you will have to learn lightning and how it reacts to it. Okay, so this was a great one that I really use a lot. We also have a pretty cool one, is the Real Water add-on. Let's see, if you're just looking for a scene instead of a grasscape, you want a waterscape with a boat, or you want water around it. The Real Water add-on is a very nice add-on. It's only $6, so if you're working with water, you can try it out as well. Okay, this one looks a little edgy, but it's something that's really cool. It's the plating generator. So let's take a look at the plating generator, because it lets you create a spaceship, a really cool one, and it takes not even 5 minutes to create a nice spaceship. So I'm just going to make sure we don't see our ground fog anymore, and we will start making a spaceship. I'm just going to add a camera to our scene so we are able to see what we're doing. 1920, and we have a sense of where our objects should be placed. I'm just going to make sure it's straight, maybe a little up. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, this is looking okay. I'm just going to make sure it's a little bit more on focus on our grass. Again, select the camera, and as you can see, we have a beautiful focus on our grass, and we have some room here in space to put our spaceship. Again, plating generator and greebles, super cool plugin, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay, so very easy. We're just going to take a basic mesh. You can use a cube, you can use a circle, you can use a cylinder, a cone, you can use a torus, you can use any shape you want. Today we're going to use the torus, and I'm just going to put it in place. Let's see where it stands with our camera. A little too high, so we're going to put it here, maybe a bit to the left, so we create some cool atmosphere. Okay, so we have a floating donut. I swear this is not the donut tutorial, this is a spaceship donut tutorial. So the only thing we've got to do now is go to our object. We make sure we do a right click, and then we can see our plating generator. So this add-on, instead of being here, it's here, but it isn't working yet. So first we have to select an object, and you will see your add-on will be in here, which will have a few options. You can add a preset, you can add greebles, or you can add plates. So for example, we are now going to use a preset. We are going to create, for example, let's see, regular panels, and that's hard to say, regular panels for spacecraft, which is, I think, what we are going to do today. So we are creating a spacecraft, voila. As you can see, our donut is not a mere donut anymore. We created an outer layer from our shape that has the cuts in it, that has a very sci-fi look to it. So again, I just right clicked the donut, plating generator, added a preset, regular panels for sci-fi, or you can choose add plates to get this effect. And you can see here on the right, on our plating generator add-on, that right now we have some options we can choose from. For example, we can change the seed, which will change the way our panels behave, or where they look, where they are stored. We can change the percentage, we can change the subdivisions, we can do a whole load of finalizing, of detailing the way you want your spaceship to look. For now, we're just going to keep this one because I think this one looks great already. So now we have two objects. We have our plating object and we have our torus object. So we wanted to have a spaceship vibe. So how do we get a spaceship vibe? It's by adding some textures and some lightnings. So there are two things. Our torus, or our donut, should emit light, and our plating should be a metal kind of coat that does not emit light and that looks natural. So I just select the donut, I go to a new material, I make sure I select an emission because it's what we're looking for. I'm going to put the strength to, let's say, 5, and there we go. It's giving light. I'm going to give it a little of a blue light color, and there we go. I'm going to make the strength a little less so we see our things better. So that's the first thing. Now we need to add a material to our plating. Again, very simple metallic material I'm going to use. So base color can be a little gray, but it has to be fully metallic. It has to have a light shine. So again, I'm going to put a little coating on there so it reflects a little bit, and our roughness should be all the way down. As you can see, we still have some of our mesh cubes that we're seeing. So I'm just going to shade smooth it, voila. We have a perfectly cool looking spaceship, but it's not there yet, I feel. I think we could add something to it. Well, you're in luck, because we can't only generate plating, we can also generate greebles, which is, I think, a funny word that's just used in kids videos, but for today we will be using it in Blender. So add greebles, what does it do? I'm just going to click on it, and as you can see, it creates little parts of our object and it makes them go around our object. So I'm just going to scale it up so we see them better. So as you can see, we have a debris floating around our spaceship, which gives it a really cool, really megalomaniac view. So it looks like a huge spaceship in the sky. Again, we have our plating generator, and we can do a lot of things to our greebles. We can change the pattern, we can change the parameters, like how lengthy can they be, what's their maximum height. We can make sure they all float in one direction, or we can just make it go random. And there's also a cool greeble objects from library. So if you don't like what he has selected, you can just choose, I want these kinds of things, and it will change them to all these kinds of shapes. I'm just going to change them all to it. As you can see, it's all little Tetris blocks flying around right now. And even you can choose an object from your scene. For example, if you have a nice rock that's laying around here, you can just add it, and then you just select your rock, and your greebles will change to the rocks you have selected, which will really be an amazing way to create spaceships from scratch. You can use it on cubes, you can use it on any mesh that you can think of. You can even use it on a monkey. I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure if you can make a giant monkey spaceship head, which would be really cool though. So that's up to you guys to try it. And there we go. So we're going to check our camera view, and as you can see, we have our greebles, which are a little bit too emissive for my taste. So I will have to make sure it's not emissive anymore. But as you guys can see, when I change the strength, my middle torus, my middle donut, loses its emission as well. So we want that. So how we're going to fix it is by clicking the new material, which lets us keep the same material, but as you can see, instead of material 2, it's now material 4, and our donut is still material 2. So if I now change this, it will change separately without hurting the donut we made in the beginning. So as you can see, some cool stuff. I'm just going to make sure it's the same color as the spaceship, so it looks a little better. I'm just going to make them a little smaller, and there we go. Spaceship generator 101. If you want to add some animation to these, it's very simple. We just, for example, select our greebles, and the only thing we gotta do is rotate them like very slowly. So we just insert a keyframe on keyframe number 1. There we go. We're going to do it on the rotation, and then, for example, if you want to go really slowly, let's go to let's go to keyframe 600, and then we make sure our z-axis location is 360, so it does one full turn. And we are going to do the same for our plating, which will also have to turn, but maybe we'll make it turn in the opposite direction, which will give a cool effect. Again, we're going to 600 to get it a complete turn. We will do minus 360. Again, insert keyframe where it is. I can insert keyframe. Again, rotation. And now everything should be rotating in a very slow manner, and everything really looks like a little spaceship. Now again, if you want to add more focus on the spaceship, let's go back to, for example, easy fog. we just select a fog that's a little, for example, a puff would be nice for here. Let's just generate the puff, we make it smaller, we put it into the middle of our spaceship. Let's see, there we go. And it should be adding a little bit of fog in the middle of it, just to give it some more depth and some more realism. As you can see, there's little fog. If you want to have more fog, like we talked about, density higher, and you will see the blue light reflecting in it a little more, a little better, which is, I think, a pretty cool tool to use. Again, if we go to our atmosphere, we can change it just like that, and we have a dark night sky with our fog, and our fog is a little too puffy for my taste. So for example, you can just scale it so it's a little bit bigger, which will give you a way thicker fog. Again, our fog is now way too thick, so you will have to play around with the density again to give it a little more of a haze vibe. If you want to change the color of it, you can change it to blue, you can change it to green, to yellow. You can do whatever you want with it, as long as it looks good and as long as you're having a load of fun with these ones. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is a pretty cool one as well. I don't know if I'm going to find it quickly, so I'm just going to type it in, but I want to show you this one still. It's the Trace Genius. I saw someone in the Blender Beast asking how you can easily trace a PNG logo to a 3D model. There are a few steps you can get it done. However, if you just use this add-on, it will be done for you in a matter of seconds and in a matter of clicks. So it all depends on the time you want to save, the things you're making. Like if you don't make a lot of spaceships, I don't think it's a good buy to buy a $30 add-on for spaceships. If you do, however, think it's a vibe that I want to explore further, then just buy the spaceship add-on and you will have an amazing leap in not only your speed, but also your quality. I'm just going to search for the physics dropper, which is a pretty cool add-on, because I know physics are a bit overwhelming when you're just starting Blender. So it's a falling banana, so you can't go wrong with it, I think. Still, if it would be a falling banana beast, it would be better, but however, the banana beast is still in the vault, so we cannot make a falling banana beast with the physics dropper yet. As you can see, it just drops objects. Is this such a cool plugin? Well, if you like to have real physics quickly, then yes, this is absolutely the plugin for you. Let me just give us some more light to work with, and let's just add some things. We can test it out. Let's maybe, because using physics is a little harsh on your computer, so I'm just going to save a new file so everything runs smoothly and we can properly see what we're doing. So I'm just taking a little cube in here. I'm just going to subdivide it a few times. Let's see. Subdivide, subdivide, and subdivide, because I wanted to show you guys how it reacts to other objects. I'm just going to cut out the middle parts. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now I'm going to extrude it downward. So I'm just going to make sure we are looking on the right side, and then I will just press Shift E. I will just press E. Again, I will have to select them, press E, and I will make sure we got some little vase or something where our objects can play around with. So we can use any object we want. For example, a banana. As we saw in the example, we can just use bananas, I'm going for this example with something low poly, so you guys can follow properly, which will be, let's say, where are we going to drop today? Something with not a lot of polygons. I'm just going to use a ball. Let's see, mesh and a UV sphere. That will do the trick for now. So I'm just going to make it a little smaller, and let's say, for example, you need an animation of something, your beast is doing something and there's something falling on his head. But when it's falling on its head, for example, we'll see here, it's just going through. So what can you do? You can, first of all, you need to make sure your physics are inserted right. You make sure your objects constraints are perfectly working how they should be, and it's not just going through it and it's not working at all. So the second cool thing you can use it for is, for example, you have a table or you have a vase and you want to stuff the vase with balls. So instead of just doing all these balls one by one and here, and then we want another one here on top, but it's gotta touch a little bit because it needs to look real, and then okay, you need to do the next one, but you want this block to be full of balls. It's going to take forever. So we are just going to use the physics dropper add-on. So I'm just going to create a load of balls. Never thought I would say this on a Wednesday evening. So I'm just going to press Ctrl D and I'm going to put it above the other ball. And now there's a cool, neat trick where, let's not do this, where I can just repeat the action I just did. I'm just going to research the shortcut because it's a real cool trick. Repeat latest action Blender shortcut, and it's Shift R. So Shift R should do the trick. Again, I'm going to duplicate it, do it here, and I press Shift R, and as you can see, it just does my latest action again and again and again over again. So I don't have to manually do this. Remember, it's your latest action. So for example, I'm now duplicating and this is my latest action, but if, for example, I move it, this will be my latest action. So you really have to make sure your latest action is the action you really want to repeat. Okay, so I'm just going to select all of the balls, and I'm only selecting the balls. I'm not selecting this. I don't put in object constraints. I don't tell them, hey, there's this much gravity, you have to do this. No, I just create a line of balls, and and I go to physics dropper, and the only thing I gotta do is drop. There we go. Everything is dropped perfectly, everything worked perfectly. As you can see, my balls were not perfectly aligned, but as you can see here, everything falls into it, everything has a good object constraint, everything knows what it has to touch, what it can touch, and everything just floats around in a natural manner. And like I said, if you wanted to fill up your thing with balls, if you do it like this, it's super easy to just have everything look realistic, have everything floating around realistic, have everything react to each other very realistically. So again, if you just want to really fill it up, we just gotta make sure it's straightly lined up. We're just gonna make sure it falls in it, and I'm going to duplicate it again, maybe put it next to it, maybe put one next to here, and let's see what it will do. Normally everything should be dropping in, and we have a full box of balls where everything, we're just going to make sure all our balls at the side are dropping out first, and as you can see, there we go. We just have a perfectly usable, let's say, ball bit for your beasts to play in, or for your beast kids to play in. And guys, I can go on for days on this website. On the Blender Market add-ons, you have a ton of options you can use. You have a ton of add-ons. You got fluids, see if you want to learn more about UV packing or clothing, a human generator if you want to make real humans. I mean, you just have to scroll through 2,889 pages if you really want to know everything, but you really gotta check it out. You really gotta start using these. You have some really cool, for example, these are some lightning presets that you can use. So it looks like the lightning is coming through the vase, but actually it's a lightning preset that's just put on it for underwater scenes. I thought there was a reference here, but I can find it right now. As you can see, it's an amazing plugin. You can just add this kind of lightning in one click, which would have taken you maybe an hour to realistically and making it move, and it's all these little details that add up in the end. You got cool lightning, you got moving grass, you got a spaceship that's moving properly with some debris, you've got some physics that are dropping, maybe you add, for example, some droplets on leaves, you add some, I saw there was a rain generator here, you make it rain, you can go as far as you want, you can create things that you didn't thought were possible at the stage that we're learning in, at the stage that we are using Blender, but everything is possible and everything is actually pretty easily manageable with these add-ons. If you want to use an add-on, you know how to install it, we've been over it. Just check out their main features, check out what they're saying. They usually have some kind of how to use it, how to install it, because every add-on works differently. For example, like we saw with the plating generator for our spaceships, this doesn't work in the normal way, it works like this. So I know it's overwhelming and I know there are a lot of things you want to try right now, but choose one and learn how to use this one and then move on to the next one. Because if you're going to buy a couple and you're going to want to learn how the couple of add-ons work at the same time, but something doesn't work, and you really have to go one by one, learn these things one by one, upgrade your skill 1% a day, and you will be a way better 3D artist in 1 month than you are today, by just using the right tools and by learning how to use these tools in the correct way. I think that's all that I have to say for today. Did I miss any questions from you guys? For today?
I don't know if he answers theories. He said, how do you control the biome's length in certain sections?
Okay.
So like if you have a beast sitting, how do you control the grass clipping through him?
Yeah. Okay, let's check it out. I'm just going to add a little plane. I'm just going to add a geoscatter, emitter. I'm just going to do a biome again. Let's say our autumn one. Let's give him a second. There we go. We have our autumn one. So we're going to check it out. I haven't used it already, but I know you can for sure. Let's close this all. Make sure there is an object going through it so it moves with you, like an object constraint. Is very possible doing it this way. You will just have to check it out in the settings, and it will be some playing around as well. I think it's proximity, object repel, exactly. So you can add an object in here. For example, let's add a cube. I don't know if it's the good type of grass we're using, but let's see anyway. What kind of grass is the green one, the longer ones? Okay, this one. So we are just going to make sure our cube is in a different collection. New collection is for our cube. There we go. I'm again going to select the grass, and we will make sure it repels an object. For example, our object repel. Let's see how it works. Feature mask. No, that's not what we need. geoscatter. Okay, let's look for it. GeoNode user collisions cube, and it's already in there, as you can see. So if we move our cube, as you can see here, our grass won't be there anymore, and it will just disappear because your object is going over it. Of course, you gotta play around with the distance. How fast do you want it to disappear? But this is a great way to just make sure if your beast is standing here and it's going for its foot, to only make sure this disappears, but this one stays. There are of course tons of options with geoscatter. I think you can even bend the grass, but that's just playing around with the settings, looking how it works. As you can see, there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of customization, but for what you're looking for right now, I think this is the fastest answer. Just select the grass you want to make sure it repels, and then proximity object repel, and select your object and play around with the with the settings a little bit. And as you can see, it just dips when it comes too close. Alright, is everything clear, my fellers?
Oh, I was talking with the mic muted. Stary said with the physics dropper, can you change the timing of certain objects?
Yes, for sure. I'm just going to drop this cube. I think my PC won't crash because there's not a lot of it. So I'm going to drop, and as you can see, it dropped perfectly again. You can apply it, you can do whatever you want, but you also have a ton of options. I have to reset for it, and we have active settings, we have world settings, and we have passive settings. Meaning, active settings is the mass of it, like how heavy is it, how much will it bounce. For example, if I change these settings, you will see a very different more bouncy thing. It's not a lot right now, but let's change it to 1. As you can see, it reacts very differently than when the bounce is set to 0, mass is to 1. So you really gotta play around with these things. It was a big difference right now because we have a cube and a plane, but you can play around with these. You also have, for example, some passive settings, some world settings, some damping settings, and it's just a matter of playing around with the settings a little bit. We have a box, for example, bounciness, let's say a little bit margin, a little less friction, a little less mass, and normally everything should drop and react differently. It's just a matter of playing around with the settings. I think you have a cloth module in here as well. You can also drop it in a cloth way, which will make it react even differently. Again, you have self-collision, you have stiffness of your cloth, but this is a rigid body, so this is a hard surface. And if you're dropping something that is more of a textile thing, you could be using the cloth dropper. But again, just play around with these settings, and everything should work out. It's a quick solution for physics. If you want to change the gravity of something, I thought it was here, but I'm not seeing it at the moment. So I think you will have to dive in a little deeper and maybe make it from scratch if you want to change your gravity. But this is just the easiest one for dropping something in a normal, let's say, world environment, how everything would react in the real world. You can also just, for example, now I've done this, I want to have these keyframes, so I'm going to bake it to the keyframes. We'll just give it a second if you want it to drop slower, and then we can just, as you can see, this is the movement. We can just select the keyframes and we press S to scale it. We scale it up so it falls slower manually, but I don't see anything to do it automatically. But however, if it's something you wanna control, and if something that you are okay with dealing with in this manner, you can just fix it like this.
And now, is there an add-on to help with the bane of weight painting?
Oh,
Or is
weight
that right?
painting. There must be one. Weight painting is the worst. Let's see. There we go. And the weight edit, lazy weight tool. I think that's my tool. I found my my motivational add-on. Weight shaper, mirror your weight paint, just vertex weights. I mean, depends on what you're looking for. You can just go at it. I don't know if there will be an automatic one, but it will definitely be a lot easier with these tools. Sports weight painting, editing weights in a table. Yeah, so just go Blender Market, weight painting, scroll to them. Accurate weight
That lazy
painting.
one is hilarious.
Which one?
The lazy one
Oh, yeah,
you
for
was
sure.
just on? That's funny.
I like the unicorn too. I think this does it automatically. I don't know. You gotta check it out for yourself, man. But there's definitely a ton of options to make the worst job in 3D to make the coolest job in 3D.
There's always something for something.
Exactly. And actually C4D, so Cinema 4D, Haslu told me like he was jealous of all the add-ons you have in Blender, and that they have way less add-ons in C4D. So if you wanna make the switch, add-ons would be one of the many reasons to come to the Blender superiority family, bro.
I think Hazu just started switching over to Blend as well.
Really?
Yeah, because he was super into that C4D, and I know Rogue X uses it as well, right?
Yeah. And I think Haslu is just becoming a master animator. He's already a master animator, but he's really nailing all of what he does. And I think if he comes to Blender and he learns about the Blender market, things will change for good.
Yeah, that's what he's been using lately, because it's just easier with all the other animators.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, to make it synchronize.
Yeah, Hazu is next level.
Yeah, he is. Lots to learn from Haslu. Lots to learn. But step by step and add-on by add-on, we're getting there, guys.
Yeah, so just a reminder that whoever's entering, we have the Winter Holiday Beast Art Challenge. Timeline December 20th if you have before then. Make sure you read the rules. And then also, I don't know how much alpha we were allowed to say, but we have on Friday we're dropping another, what is it, resource. Yeah, that's it.
You're doing great, Mimi. I feel the stress in your voice.
I'm also so tired and sick.
Just a resource. We'll see what it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just a resource, just a little resource. But I 100% know everybody will like it.
I'm fairly positive everyone will like it.
It's not the Blender donut guy.
Ooh, we should release the Blender donut guy though. He's been in our basement for years. We should release him.
Oh my god. I've never done
so,
the sorry.
I think that's it for me, guys. So blendermarket.com, please pay it a visit. I am not affiliated. I do not earn a penny from your purchases, so don't do it for me. Just do it for yourselves, guys.
Yeah, I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you, Void.
Thank you, guys, everyone. Red, new music. Maybe someday, if you keep asking enough, maybe there will be another Void release. But
yeah, I went through your page and I couldn't find no links to any of your music. What's that about?
all music is gone. All music. We're now Blender guys.
I saw the transition.
Yeah. It had to be done. You see, Starry catches my drift, man. Starry knows what's up. Starry knows where the meat and potato is, and it's all in 3D. It's all in 3D. However, maybe one day there will be another red release, and I'll have to call it red then, or for a red or something.
Yes, Void made really good music.
Yeah, really good music.
I mean, it's a lot of work though. I can't see anybody doing like both, but to like put 100% into it, it's a lot.
Everything just took time, and with the 3D and learning it, and it was just a whole project. So I really wanted to nail, because we're living really in the content economy, and music isn't content. Music is music, but it's not content you can post singularly. So I thought 3D is a very important skill if you want to create content, and if you want to even get a job from it. 3D is very much something you can use in your daily life as well. So it's a skill we really have to nail down, guys, and I'm glad you guys are here with me to do it. Especially Evolved, Steri, Chico, Papa, Alex, and Red. You guys showing up, appreciate it, man.
Hey, PP. Yeah, you heard Void, time to lock in. Appreciate you guys. And Void, I know you have to go.
Yes.
Alright, guys, thank you so much, and bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. See you in our next maker session.